Hello, everyone, and welcome to Up the Turnpike, your source for New York Islanders content, both here on YouTube and more specifically over on Patreon. Patreon, I can pronounce that properly. That is patreon.com/Up the Turnpike, where we have podcasts twice a week. Full hour podcasts where half of it is we talk about a specific topic, the other half is all dedicated towards you. You got a question, comment, concern, something you want to get off your chest? You put it in the comments and we talk about it twice a week. Plus a Friday six pack where we go over the 6 leading topics of the week. We have a Discord channel where it's popping off all the time. Just all kinds of stuff going on the Patreon, so make sure to check up there. In today's video, we're giving the Islanders a grade on their 2024 NHL draft class. How did they do? Pretty goddamn well, right? There's no other way to say it. The Islanders did very, very well at the 2024 NHL draft. It's just without question, really. So if we just go over how the Islanders, or who the Islanders selected in the 2024 draft class, and then get a sense of how well they did there exactly. So going back to the draft class, in the first round, Cole Eiserman, 20th overall. In the second round, we picked up Jesse Pulkkinen, left-handed defenseman from Finland. Kamil Bednarek, a center for the U.S. National Development Program, going to be going to Boston University with said Cole Eiserman. Dmitry Gamzin, an older goalie out of Russia, plays for CSKA Moscow as kind of like a backup, but has glowing numbers. Marcus Gildoff, a big Swedish goalie, 6'6", a ton of potential there. And then Xavier Veilleux, left-handed defenseman, going to Harvard this year. Now you're looking at the graph here as I've got it laid out, and you see where we picked that player. And then I went and looked at all of the consensus, all of the other mock drafts, and where they had that specific player, and came up with an average ranking here. And so that's the consensus number. So you'll see here Cole Eiserman, based off of all of the other mock drafts out there, should have gone 11.875. I'm not rounding here, but like basically 12th overall. We got him at 20. So we picked a player 8 spots better than where we actually, we picked a player that should have been taken 8 spots before we got him. So that's talent that we shouldn't have had available that we picked up in just Cole Eiserman. That's pick number 1, baby. Right? We got the leading scorer, or the best goal scorer in the draft class right away, which is something we just don't have and haven't had for a while for the New York Islanders. We had one 40-goal season from Anders Lee, and we haven't sniffed something like that since. Although, it will be fair to Brock Nelson, he has come very close a few years now. So no disrespect to Brock Nelson in his 30-plus goal seasons. But back to the draft class we go. From Cole Eiserman, Jesse Pulkkinen, taken 54th, should have gone somewhere around 54, 53.75. So like not much of a positive difference there, but still we got him where we should have. We're not reaching, which was a problem for the Islanders in the past, right? Reaching for these prospects that we had no reason to go and get. Like I'm talking about Simon Holmstrom, to be fair, was a reach. We probably shouldn't have gone to get him. He's not a bad prospect, but it was a reach to get him when we got him. Alexander Ljungcrantz is another famous example. Some draft boards did not have him drafted at all, and we took him in the 3rd round. So, like, unnecessary reaching from the Islanders at times. They didn't do that here. Now, with Pulkkinen, he's a little bit older, so not so much growth left in him. What happens to him next going forward remains to be seen. We might see him in North America sooner rather than later, just because he's an older prospect. He's 20 years old already, where most of these kids are usually drafted as 18-year-olds. But this is a good left-handed defenseman, good skating defenseman, big body too. Like we're talking 6'6" as well. This is not a small guy who's got decent hands. Now, can that translate into North America? We'll see. But this is a very interesting prospect that we picked where we should have picked. Like, he went where he should have gone. From there, Kamil Bednarek, a drop, if you will, but like 0.375. Again, we did not reach to get him. It was an apt pickup for the Islanders. Good center depth. Considered to be underrated by some. Like, this is a guy who probably should have gone higher based off how others value him, specifically in the U.S. National Development Program. So maybe he becomes something more than what we've got here, but remains to be seen. Again, no reaching, which is what I like from the Islanders. So far, we've got found value and very little reaching going forward. Then we go to the goalies. Dmitry Gamzin, we took him 115th. They had him 192. I didn't find too many drafts that had him taken because of his age. Like, this is a 21-year-old goalie playing kind of backup for one of the better teams in the KHL. But glowing numbers, right? We're talking like 932 save percentage and a 1.9 something goals against average. You know what? I've got his sheet right here. Let's find it if I can. You know what? I actually didn't. I didn't put the goalies in because goalies are voodoo. So never mind that. Let me get actually his elite prospect page, and then we'll take a look at that if you haven't seen the numbers just yet, because you got to see it to believe it. So let me flip this over here. There we go. So as you can see, this year for CSKA Moscow, 13 games only, but a 937 and a 192, which is stupidly good. At the VHL level for Moscow again, 922, 242. Hasn't had anything less than a 906 save percentage in Russia where it has been measured. So this guy puts up really, really good numbers in Russia. He is a little bit older, right? He is 21 years old, turned 21 April 8th. So another guy that remains to be seen what's going on there. But with goalies, you take the time. From there, Marcus Gildoff. With Gamzin, minus 77, because I've only found like there were very few places that had him even drafted, probably because of that age. And so the difference there, minus 77, I think is a little bit overblown. Take that with a grain of salt. Maybe we reached a little bit for Gamzin, but that's fine. I think that's an acceptable reach here. But then at 147, they take Marcus Gildoff. Swedish goalie, 6'6". He should have gone somewhere around 113. So we found some decent value there, 34 picks. Everything that I keep reading about Marcus Gildoff, and I have not watched him yet, and I will certainly watch him going forward now, is that this guy has got the potential to be a starting goalie in the NHL. Not a backup, a starting goalie. Big size, decent movement ability. He's got all of the traits, just need to work on a little bit of technique, which is going to happen. He's still a kid. This kid is 18 years old. He's going to need some time, again, which is totally fine. Lou Lamoriello preaches that nonstop. If you've got time, take it. They've got time with Marcus Gildoff. They're going to take it. There's a potential for a lot of found value here. Again, should have gone somewhere around 113, went 147. Found value for us. And then final one here from Xavier Veilleux. We picked him at 179. Should have gone somewhere around 116. So big find there for the Islanders. Why he dropped so much, I don't know. Has some pretty good numbers. I do have a sheet for him. Xavier Veilleux. Let's go down. So last year at the USHL level, 32 points in 62 games, 3 goals, 29 assists, which is pretty damn good. And now is going to be playing for Harvard University. This is a heck of a player here that the Islanders picked up in this draft. So I'm really excited to see what's going forward with Xavier Veilleux. But as you see throughout this draft, they only lost some value in Gamzin, but they made up for it big time with some of the other ones, right? Like we're talking about 96 found value, making up well more than what we lost for Gamzin, plus the found value for the other ones. I gave them a grade of A. That was my grade. And honestly, it's not too far off from most of the other outlets out there, right? If you look at The Athletic, B. ESPN, A-. Bleacher Report, B. Flow Hockey, B+. The Score, B. Daily Faceoff, B+. I'm not sure why they end up with so many B's instead of A's. Like, I don't get it. I think that these outlets need to rethink some of their valuations, because they're grading based off of how others have done. You should really grade about where they were and what they got with where they are, right? The fact that they were able to get Cole Eiserman where they were, the fact that they were able to get Pulkkinen, Gildoff, Veilleux is quite impressive for the Islanders. So I think that they should get an A at minimum, but because they didn't draft like Macklin Celebrini, they don't get an A+, which is just so dumb. They were never in a position to do that. So how much value did they find based off of the guys they got? Where they could have taken them from is really how these things need to be measured. No one is measuring them that way. That's how I did it, and that's why I'm giving them an A. The Islanders had an excellent draft day, even though I was still disappointed that they didn't move to bring in value, or sorry, not value. They bring in players to help the NHL roster today. I'm still disappointed with that, but taking that aside, they had an excellent draft class, and we'll get into it at some point, and a really good free agency period as well. So good job, the New York Islanders. You get an A for the 2024 NHL draft. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you soon.